My name is Marshall Curry, and I'm the director.
And I'm Sam Cullman, I'm the co-director.
And our film is If a Tree Falls, a story of the Earth Liberation Front, and it is playing in the U.S. documentary competition. If a Tree Falls is a story about a radical environmentalist named Daniel McGowan, who was part of the Earth Liberation Front, and he faced life in prison for participating in 2 arsons against timber companies in Oregon. The spine of the movie is the verite story from the time that our main character was arrested and charged with eco-terrorism until the time that he ultimately went to prison a year later.
This is a story about really impassioned people on both sides. These activists, felt outraged, felt they had to do something, so much so that they wanted to break the law, and then you have the government so certain about them being terrorists.
It's also a story that asks questions. We don't try to answer the questions. We mostly just ask them. How do we define terrorism? When does sabotage or vandalism become terrorism? What is activism? What's effective? What's ethical? What makes sense?
We look at how this movement developed and how Daniel and many other people who were involved, their path went from sort of above ground activism, doing, legal sort of protest, to eventually, doing this sort of underground ELF arson.
And then as we started to dig in, we became surprised over and over and over. First as we started spending time with other former ELF members. Then we started spending time with the prosecutor and with the detective who'd worked for years on the case. And we spent time with the arson victims as well. And every time that we would kind of hear a new perspective and a new take on the story, it would shift our perspectives. In some ways, our film is a cautionary tale about activism. It doesn't provide the answer.
Many of the participants or subjects in our film, I think, felt that for whatever reason, this story had never really gotten a good airing or a proper airing, and I think the opportunity to be able to show it at Sundance and to have wider audiences be able to know this story, I think, was incredibly thrilling.